Hello everyone, Dan at 14 Prime here. Today I want to share with you guys a review of the Takara Transformers Legends 36 Soundwave with Soundblaster, the Headmaster, device deck to robot down there in the right hand corner. This side of the box over here has got some product shots. I'm noticing the product shots look a little bit of a different lighter powder blue. Over here on this side of the box you get some cool artwork of Soundwave. And then finally here on the back of the box, I kind of just put all that together in one image. The product shots, the artwork in the background. And then here quickly, top of the box, it's got the Headmaster effect here. Soundblaster going on to Soundwave. Alright, so that's the packaging, always very tight and efficient with Takara. Pop this guy out of the box and check him out. Okay, so here Soundwave is out of the box in his device deck mode, as they're calling it. Cassette tape player from back in the G1 days. This is obviously a retool of the blaster mold, which I think is a pretty good mold, and I think it works pretty well here for Soundwave as well. I think the colors are good. They're not as light, again, as on the box. So very cool. It's got a pretty clean looking, very G1-esque kind of chest, tape chest there. You can check it out from the side. You can see, not much to it, just kind of where the feet and legs come together. Got the side of the handle there, which is just gray plastic. Unfortunately, not painted. Here you've got the back of the box. Lots of holes, screw holes and everything going on here. There is, I believe, some storage back here for his different accessories. Comes with kind of his shoulder cannon here, which has a round peg in it. On his shoulder, it goes up here. I find that you can store that on the peg down here. Then it comes with this gun. I'll get you a closer look at these. Doesn't seem to be a great place to store this. You can kind of plug it into this hole here, but unfortunately it just doesn't go entirely the way in. So it's probably not what it's for, but kind of a little bit of a hack there for you. At least be able to store stuff on the figure. And that's what that would look like if you choose to do so. Again, the gun, rifle, not perfect, but the shoulder cannon ties in very nicely. Then here, let me just get you a shot of the bottom of the figure so you can see it. Not much going on there. And the top as well, again, pretty clean. So here I've got Hasbro on top and Takara on bottom. We can do a side by side. The first thing that pops is the color of blues. Hasbro's gone darker, a little bit of a lighter shade with Takara. The next thing that probably pops is the tape deck area. Again, Takara on the bottom, they've got very G1-esque, sort of like tinted plastic with the gold trim around it, including kind of this very top section, these dots painted. Whereas Hasbro's is clear plastic, and you can just see more kind of stuff going on in it. And then probably the final thing is just some yellow accents on the chest there. Some extra paint detail that Takara had done. And if we compare the sides of them here, you can see the feet. Takara's got black, some black in there, in addition to kind of the gray. So Hasbro's all gray plastic. Takara's also got some paint on what's going to be the ramp here. Find a little bit of black trim. You've got the tops of the figures with Takara on the right there, and a few differences that you'll be able to see here. Again, they'll pop in different modes, but again, more of a silver. Hopefully you can see that a little bit better there. Where they're putting the red stripe, Takara kind of closer to the wrist. Takara's done a little bit more fill-in color, I guess you'd call it, on the top of the deck. So with Hasbro, you can see gray plastic. Takara has that painted. Takara also has painted kind of the tops and around the edges of the tape deck as well. So only the front is clear, whereas Hasbro's got that whole thing just basically plastic. And then finally, there's a button to open the deck. It's black with Takara. Hasbro just left it all blue. So let's get to transforming him. And as always, you get your instruction booklet with Takara. Get this side here with the nice artwork. This side here's got the product shots and the tech specs. And then as you open it up, it's of course just instructions on one side and kind of comic book on the other. Okay, so let's go ahead and take Soundwave into his base mode. I will say the differences versus Hasbro, it's all paint here, no really retooling or anything, so it maintains Hasbro's simple transformation. So to go into base mode, we're just going to pop the chest open, hit the black button, drops the chest. It's got these plastic inserts in here. You can fold up, and the darker plastic kind of hides this effect from Soundwave's chest pretty well, which was the point I made earlier. You don't see this come through as much as you do on Hasbro because it's such clear plastic. But you flip those panels up. Then we want to flip the leg panels down. Then you can flip out the ramps. Curiously, these came actually detached on Takara, so you have to kind of put those in yourself. But those just fold out. And then we just want to rotate the arms to get the backside facing forward. Just like that. You can see that side has got a cannon piece in there, a black piece of plastic. Then go ahead and just kind of raise them up. Oops, excuse me, I rotated the whole shoulder. You just want to rotate the form and raise them up. So raise it up. Then just give these things a little kind of 45-degree rock back. And flip out your cannons. There you go. We spin around the side. You see the foot has kind of this, device or something that you can just kind of flip out of there. Looks like antennas and panels and different stuff. So flip those up and then just kind of go ahead and flip them up open. Now this double hinge thing goes on in there. So give those a bit of a flip open. Then just grab some of his accessories here. Got a peg here. You can plug in the shoulder cannon. He's got his rifle here, which will mount up here in the chest area. Then finally has this device deck type thing, which just sits up here on the handles. Then of course you can grab Soundblaster and put him any number of different places, but you can tuck him up there. And that's it. Again, I don't know anyone really loves the bass modes, but it's a part of the line. And again, I think this Blaster Soundwave mold, it does one of the better ones, probably because it's maybe the simplest. It's therefore the least floppy. All right, so I'll just let you check it out here real quick from the front. I'll drop some focus there towards the front. Then we'll drop some focus more towards the center. I think you can pretty much see everything right now. So that's the bass from the front. Here it is from the side. Again, you got the ramp there. Get some nice accent paints on the inside. You can see some silver accent paints on the inside of the leg there to make this kind of bass effect here, as well as this little black accent that was different from Hasbro. And I'm just going to jump in super close here so you can just kind of see some of this detail. The main thing I want to show you here as we get to the center is the chest. So there's those kind of plates that lift out of the cassette deck. And again, because Takara's is just darker, you just don't see as much of that come through the chest, which makes it give it that cleaner effect that we saw in device deck mode and we'll also see in bot mode. And then there you see the accessories. We'll get those side by side, obviously, much more nicely painted than what we'll see with Hasbro. Okay, so let's go ahead and transform them from device deck into robot mode. Just kind of flip up these panels here first. Flip down the leg panels again. And you can see how his legs all crunched up in there. We just want to bring it all down. Then let's spin it around and get the front of the leg facing forward. I mean, all in all, I think this is pretty classic kind of sound wave transformation, which is cool. If you flip them around back here, we want to get the feet out. Like give those a rock down like this. Again, there's kind of this double hinge there, so there you go. And he's got this leg kind of shortening mechanism, which you want to release and then pull. Kind of has a little bit of a notching thing for tabbing, but that's why you give it a little lift out. And you'll see here, that's the notching mechanism. So just put that back on the top guy on each side. Then we want to flip out the toe. Go back to the foot here. There's a little bit of a tab here on top. You can kind of just give a nudge to get that out a little bit and then get the toe out. And then you can basically just fold the legs up to complete them. Try to get all your pegs in here. That's going to peg there again. That's going to peg up there. Now we've basically got them like this. And we can put those flaps down, put the bar down, get the arms down, the hands out. And then actually just around back here, we want to grab the helmet, flips out of there. And he's basically ready to go. So before we get the Headmaster in there, let's check them out together. Here they are. I gotta say, this might be the coolest Headmaster that I've seen. This over here, this Takara Soundblaster is what I'm going to just continue to call him. So a lot of nice paint in there in the details of this guy. Then if we just give him a little spin here, you can see how it looks on the side. The stripe goes around, which is cool. Then here on the back, you'll get a sense for the head. Again, it's kind of like a masterpiece. Hasbro doing yellow, Takara doing red. All right, so let's give Takara's Soundblaster the little fold up here. There you go. Cool how the arms keep a little kind of temple trim. Looks pretty cool. I'll just get Hasbro up here so you can see them side by side more cleanly. But again, they are the same, just painted differently. Then if we just jump up top here to drop in Soundblaster, plug him in there. There he goes, and bring the helmet over the top. Super cool. Looks good. So I may as well show you the accessories here. We'll get them all decked out here. Got Takara on the left, Hasbro on the right. You can see obviously the color difference if the blue remains, and then just how they're painting the stripe. Takara single stripe towards the front end. Hasbro kind of more painting these back 3 stripes. That's really kind of it. Been cool if Takara would have went inside the gun and painted something in there, but they did not. And again, Soundwave's got just a peg there on his right shoulder, and this just plugs right into it. Then you've got the guns here. I'm sure you can't guess which one is which. I'm going to keep it a secret here. But obviously Hasbro, just all blue plastic. Takara, silver painting down the barrel. Some red accents there on the scope. Pretty sharp looking. So we'll just plug that into the hand there. The hand does not have any kind of finger articulation or anything. So that just drop right in there. Then, why not here? There's this device deck piece. Again, this will go inside the device deck if you don't have a minion cassette you want to put in there. But Hasbro over here on the right, Takara on the left. Takara really painted everything. They left the underlying color here towards the top, kind of give that gunmetal accent. Black everywhere else, and then silver accents here. A little bit of a play button there. Whereas Hasbro just put yellow accents where you see them. Let me just give you a quick shot here of how this device deck works in bot mode. Black button on top. Drops it down. Again, you can put his minions in there, or this thing he comes with. Ooh. Slides down in there too. Like that. Okay, so there he is, all decked out. Soundwave. Let me just show them to you here before we go in close and also get Hasbro side by side. But you can see they've got, silver and yellow accents here on the shin. You can see the silver on the forearms better now. The thighs. See how the device deck comes across the chest. The yellow trim for the chest. Again, red eyes, red striping. Give you a shot of him from the side there. He's pretty clean. Not too bad with things sticking out or anything. You've got the handle. That's the main thing. But otherwise, the mold comes together in bot mode pretty nicely, I think. Give you a quick look at him on this side. And I'll just jump in close here for a quick pan. And then we'll get Hasbro in here, and we'll go side by side. Compare the two. So here the two are side by side. And again, this is one of those situations where I think Hasbro did a decent job. There's been a few instances. There's been a couple they've totally bombed, and there's been a couple that have been really, really good. And I think this is one of those instances where Hasbro's hanging. The real major differences are the chest, and then do you want red or yellow eyes? Probably. Everything else is kind of, details. And the details matter, don't get me wrong, but those are the things that really kind of pop. Let's jump in and try to squeeze them in here, and I'll just point out some of the differences closer up. You can see again, Takara, yellow trim on the chest, none for Hasbro. Hasbro went with some accent paints on the shoulders. You've got a red and silver up there. Again, the device deck, clear versus more of a shaded color tint to it, and how they're painted, really just that top trim is the main difference. And it also impacts some of those inner pieces of plastic in base mode and how they show through. It's less significant on Takara. And again, as I pointed out before, Takara has kind of painted the sides of the deck, so you get that blue, which blends into the chest better. Down in the arms, you'll see Takara painted it silver. Hasbro's kind of left it a very light gray plastic. It doesn't exactly pop on camera. More noticeable, I think, in person, but definitely paint across the arms is very nice. But I do find it odd that Takara didn't paint these blue tabs silver. Whereas Hasbro, where they put the stripe, they went ahead and painted over the tab and made it red. If we jump down, you can see both painted the thighs silver. So they both got that right. Takara tied it together more nicely with the forearm paint as well. But again, it's pretty subtle. Takara gave us silver trim here on the top of the shin. Hasbro's is gray. And then really, a darker yellow here versus a lighter yellow. And then they both did silver on the shin. And then really the last area was Takara gave a black toe piece, whereas Hasbro just kept it all one color gray. And that is really kind of it. I'll give them a spin so you can see for yourself. Again, where they're painting the red stripe, slight, minor difference, not a big deal. You can see in bot mode for the back of the figures, nothing really going on. One area on the head up here to highlight, which is a nice touch. You can see Takara takes that silver paint from the front and wraps it around the side, whereas Hasbro just kind of gives you a little bit of trim on the side and doesn't go all the way back. And then let me just give you a nice shot of how nicely they did this arm. You can see the silver paint on it. They didn't go up into here for whatever reason, and even here they kind of don't go fully tight. There's a little bit of a ridge there, so they're painting against that ridge. You can see they even go inside there, capture some of that. Around bottom, they're painting around the gun and everything. So some nice paint work there. Quickly with articulation here, the head will turn like this. Arms come out like that. They raise inside, but it's a nice ratchet to spin around. It's got an elbow that'll give you a solid 90. These hands are fixed. They just fold in for transformation. I'll show you the bicep swivel. That's there. Obviously nothing going to be in the waist. The legs will go like this because he transforms like that. They come forward pretty well because those flaps there accommodate that. They go back pretty well. Got a thigh swivel up in there. He's got a knee that works pretty well for as chunky as that shin is. And he's got these feet that do have pivots and ankle tilt, which is huge because these leader class figures that got these chunky legs and thighs, him and Prime both. So having, and even the Hasbro had those as well, having that ankle pivot allows you to actually get the legs reasonably positioned. So there you have it, guys. Transformers Takara Legends 36, Soundwave and Soundblaster. Very nice figure here. Takara did a nice job as always with the extra attention to paint detail, but I will have to say they didn't blow Hasbro out of the water. So I think here you've got a bit of a tougher call whether or not you want to pay basically twice the money, call it $45 versus $90 to make that upgrade for the nice silver paint accents you get on the arms, the chest piece, and the red eyes. I mean, that's largely the big differences. Well, I will say the detailing on the gun is nice as well. All right, guys, hope you liked the video. I'll see you next time.